Before we get the book boxes, I'd like for some of you older students to tell some of the newer students what the book boxes are and how we use them.
We pick out 12 books, then like every afternoon we got like to read a little bit, then like if you got done reading a book and if you like might want to read it again, you keep it and read a couple more times.
What about if you get out your book box and you find out you've chosen a book that's too hard?
If somebody else is like you might want to trade in for a book.
Okay.
Or you can ask you, can I trade it in for a different book because it's too hard to read.
Yeah, you might see if somebody at your table wants to trade, or you can just ask and say, hey, the book's too hard, I need to get another one. And we do this in an organized way. I'd like for Monday to go back and get your book boxes, and then we're just going to sit down and read.
Could you, in the rain? I would not, could not in the rain. Not in the dark, not on a train, not in a car.
Speech word, and he sleeps in a cabin that bear. Miss Zach, I don't see it. Miss Zach, what is this? Or
Let's hear.
this?
This right here?
No, this.
Okay, what do you see a little word in there?
Bus.
Bust.
Buster.
Buster, okay.
Bus. Bus. And drinks.
Human.
Blood.
Okay.
What?
Now, you know when you're reading, if you find out that there's like 5 words on the page you can't read, that might be a little bit too difficult for you. You might want to choose another book, okay? All right.
A big black car drove up. Who died? Different. Maybe Mr.
2 words in there. You know, what's that first word? Rat.
Ben.
It's that UR makes the rat. Okay.
Redbird. Said Arthur. A girl gets out.
That's got out. Okay. Now, what's it feel like to you, this book? Huh?
It's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. And right now, I'd like to just see you be able to say, this is not a time where we're going to do hard work. This is a time we're just going to read and relax. And I'd like to see you have a book in your hand where you can just read it and have a lot of fun reading it, okay? Have you got one in here you can do that with?
From in the zoo.
Let's try that and see if this is better.
I will go into the zoo. I want to see the zoo. I want to see it. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I would like to live this way. This is where I want to stay.
Well, how does it feel to read this? Yeah, and that's what, when you're doing book boxes, that's what we want to do. We want to feel fine, okay? So it's a pleasant thing to do, and you're not struggling. But now that doesn't mean don't come back to this in a few weeks as you learn more words and you get back in the routine of school. We've only been here 5 days, so get back in the routine and practice your reading, and then try the harder stuff.
Look what they doing.
It's cute, isn't it? It's like he's getting a manicure at the zoo. He's at the beauty shop. Okay.
I would like to live it. I already read it. Will you keep me in the zoo? I want to stay in here with you.
I want to talk just a little bit about the reading logs, the homework reading logs. Why do you think having reading for homework is valuable? Tiara?
So you can learn how to read.
Okay.
You can learn stuff.
What do you mean?
You can, like, when we read a book about Martin Luther King, we learned about him.
You
Okay.
remember it, try to write it down.
Okay, you can remember it and try and write it down. Tavonda, what do you want to say? And it's fine to say what you
I
think.
don't like doing it.
How come?
'Cause I'll do something else.
What is it that you don't like about it?
You gotta write down the answers.
Tavonda, it's not answers. It's like the date, the name of whatever you're reading, the title, the author,
At the end, you gotta.
the pages, and look, I mean, that's not very much writing, just a few words on your thoughts about what you read.
Nothing, the homework ain't nothing. First you gotta read it and then write.
I don't like writing.
It'll be a little bit of
I'm
time.
usually playing after school.
Me too.
Why do we have to have these? Let's talk about this for a minute. It's a way to keep track of what you've read, and I'm saving them in a folder for each one of you so that you can see what you've accomplished and what you've read through the year.
I don't want no book. 5 minutes for a second.
I ain't doing my homework.
I
Get a
too.
feel.
I don't want no book.
Okay, I've made a decision as the teacher of this classroom that reading's important and that learning to read takes practice. And when we do the book boxes and when we read during the day, that's all time to practice. But we also need to practice a little bit at night. I also made this decision not only because we need to practice, but because there are so many things you can learn and so many places that you can go in those books.
How you gonna go in a book?
Because, Tavonda,
It's like you in the book.
Michelle, explain it.
When you're reading the books, sometimes you get interested in reading the book and you're staring at it, and it's like you're in the book.
Tavonda, what do you think about that?
I don't understand none of this stuff.
Well, it might be because reading's hard for you right now. Once you get good at it, you're going to see that reading is so much fun. Is there anyone in Tuesday that would like to share about what they read last night?
No.
Okay, Wednesday. Howard?
Last night, it was me and my sister, and me and her kept on reading the book because she loved it.
Did you read it to her?
Yeah. And
Are-
she read it once to me
And she read it?
I know a book.
while Amy and them was sitting on the bed.
Oh, I bet that was just a sweet-looking picture to see you and your sister and those cats sitting on the bed. Okay, you want to tell about the book? What'd you take home to read to her?
The two crazy pigs.
I took home too.
Okay,
Brandon.
Brandon.
It was a good book because I learned all about him. All about it. All
What-
about the book.
What'd you read?
Michael Jordan.
Oh, can you tell the class something you learned about him that you didn't know already?
He used to play football
Okay.
and basketball.
Matt?
Last night when I took my book home, The Crazy Pig, when we was laughing through the whole book, and when we got through reading, we was still laughing, and we couldn't even get nothing on the paper.
Who were you laughing with about it?
My mama.
Did she think it was funny too? Did you read it to her?
Yeah.
Did she read it to you also?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody in Thursday want to share what they read last night? Okay. Friday? Tavonda?
Yesterday, I was at my granny's house, and I was doing my homework, and I was reading it to my baby cousin, and when he seen the picture of that baby, he said, "Baby."
Oh, did he? So you were reading the book to him? How'd that feel?
Fine. Then my auntie came in, then she said, their baby, he said it again.
You know what? You're helping that baby to become a reader, because that's where it starts. When little bitty ones are born and you start reading to them, they get interested in books and they find out that reading's fun. So you're helping someone become a reader. Okay, Daniel?
I'm so glad we saw you tonight, Peter. Brittany said, you'll see tonight's my last night in the nursery. I do not like it. Sam, I do not like the green eggs and ham. Yuck, she's so gross. She always saying, this is my beautiful board notebook. Waiting for me to fill it with words. We're testing a new major math page.
Think about what you read last
Oh, yeah.
night.
Last night when I watched TV, football, Monday Night Football came in, I watched Green Bay, some other team. Then I read Bad Day. Last night I read Anna Banana. Yes. And then my brother said, you brought Anna Banana home again?
You want to tell about your favorite rhyme in it?
I was born in a frying pan.
I knew it.
Guess how old I am.
Okay.
1, 2, 3,
All right.
4, 5.
Okay. James?
Last night I took home, we're back, a dinosaur story. It's Tyrannosaurus Rex. A spaceship came down from the sky, and this little dinosaur came out of the spaceship and tried to lead him into the spaceship, and he chased him. It's tried to eat it. Right. He tried to, but he clonked his head against the wall. Yesterday I took Itchy chicken pox home, and there's this boy, he got chicken pox. And when he went to bed and woke up, he felt better. He didn't have no chicken pox anymore. Can I bring it in Monday?
What? You have itchy chicken pox at home? Yeah, if you'd like to bring it in and put it in your book box and read it during reading time, that would be great.
Yesterday, Ebony came over after cheerleading practice. We was doing our homework and I was reading Amelia notebook, and I like the part when every time when they was moving, and it took, I think, 8 hours or something. Every restaurant they stopped to, she'll always order some hamburgers and french fries. She said she was gonna turn into one, a big fat hamburger and a french fry.
Last night when I was looking through the mail that came, the Newsweek was in there, and there was an article about how children learn. And so before I went to bed, I was looking through the article, and one thing that it said, I need to read.
Was good, but the best part was the joking part. It was a real old-fashioned one.
Are you kidding, asked Shirley? Are you sure, asked Mr. Henhouse? No, we said, we're crazy. Shoot. No, Chattanooga.
Chat.
Okay, Chattanooga.
Chattanooga. It is hard to say. Chattanooga.
Chattanooga. 10 nieces. Tennessee told his mother that he wanted to be a football player, and a minister. White words so
Gently.
Achieving his twin goals. That by the time he was 17, he had become a
Licensed.
licensed ministry.
this book is really a little bit too hard for you. When we read in the book boxes, remember we talked about get a book where you know all the words on a page except 5? Because what we want to do right now is just read, 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 so you can learn stuff from the books, but also practice being a better reader. So do you think you could pick out a book in here where you know most of the words? And this might be a book that you want to read at home with your mom or dad at night. Or if we have some time sometime, maybe a book that Howard could help you read with.
Arthur and DW have been in the drugstore a long time, for heaven's sake. DW said, this store is full of presents. Pick one and let's go.
Guys, we've had a great day. Have a nice night. I would like just the 5 people that have the Amelia books to get them and give them to the next people. Now, nobody should be up except the 5 Amelia people. Do you have an Amelia book? Do you? You? Okay. All right. Show me what the book checkout line looks like and sounds like. Guys, we had an 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Now, we had an agreement that if you all could take 2 books home, that you all would stand in this line so I could write down how many books you had to check you back in the morning. Because too many of the books were disappearing and not coming back. Now, I'd like it to be on silence, and I'd like to do this quickly. School's over in about 1 minute, and we have precious little time to take care of this. Okay, how many of you got it? James, how many do you have? What I'd like to do is just check with you all to see how you think our plan of checking out the books is working for you.
Yes.
So just show me your hand. Tiara?
Good, because everybody is bringing their books back. And if they accidentally forgot a book and left it at home, they tell you if they left it at home or not.
Okay. Sammy?
Good, because if you leave your book at home and then you have another book that's at home from a long time ago, you can bring that back in.
Yeah, and is that what you did today? One thing that I think's a little rough is our afternoon procedure, so I'd like to change that. I'd like for you, when you get your books that you want to take home, Daniel?
How come, you don't hang that little thing up and let us find our name, and if you got the Amelia books pit, and you got another pit A2, why don't you let us do that?
Well, in my mind, I can't see 20 students trying to write on one piece of paper at the end of the day. It's really hard for me holding it, trying to meet with 20 students. I'd like to talk about what I've come up with. So I would like for you to listen and see what you think. In the afternoon, when you get your books, I'd like for you to get them and then go sit down, and then I'll meet with the tables, and I'll just come around, mark what you've got at the tables, and then you can stack your chairs and line up, and we'll leave. Does that sound like that might be okay?
Yes.
Yeah. To walk down that line and expect people to be quiet and to be still at the end of the day, I really feel like that might be asking too much, because I probably wouldn't be able to be quiet and stand there either. I'd probably have to be talking and fooling around a little bit myself. So,
Whisper before you come around to our table mates.
can you do what?
Whisper,
if you
Oh,
like at
yeah, I don't have any problem at all with you all talking to each other at the end of the day. Just do it in a school voice so you're not interrupting people.
Yesterday when I got home, I was reading the Pro Football Mega Stars, and then I found it was Ansley Ambrose, And at first I thought he was a girl, but he wasn't. He's a boy. He plays for the Cincinnati Bengals, and he's the quarterback, Ashley Ambrose.
Okay, thanks for sharing that. Okay, Sammy.
Last night I took home Titanic, and my grandma, she was reading half of it, and she didn't know that this was the biggest ship in the whole world.
Is that what it says in the book?
It says at the beginning.
Can I take it home tonight?
Christina, the book belongs to Amanda, and she has got kind of a list of people so far that want to take it home. So you'll just have to get on the list.
The Titanic was once the largest ship in the world.
Okay. So your grandmother's learning stuff too when you take those books home. All right, Brett.
Last night I read Whiskers' Worst Day Ever, and he was didn't like math at the beginning. He pretended he was hurting his wrist. He said he put a cast on his arm. He tried all kinds of stuff, and his head kept saying yes, no, and stuff.
Okay, so he put the cast on his arm so he didn't have to do math?
Yeah, he
Okay.
pretended he was hurt.
Okay, well, let us know how it turns out, okay? Josh? James?
Yesterday I took home Anna Banana, and my niece came over. And, I read Anna Banana to her, and I read a book called Halloween Elves. At the beginning of chapter 4, the elves, they was hopping around and giving people candy because they wanted to give candy to make their teeth fall out. Did they didn't know it was apples in the candy, because they was getting the candy apples around, and they didn't know there was apples in the candy, and they said to themselves, why are the teeth not falling out yet? And they bit the apple, and their teeth fell out.
Goodness. Okay, Jazz.
Cause they like candy, and people like apples.
Okay, Jazzy.
Last night I didn't take nothing home, so I read one of my chapter books called The Trespassers. So now I'm on chapter 19, but they still haven't told me about the ghost yet, so I have to keep going. Last night I took the Random House of Poetry home, and I read My Mouth, and I wanted to read it to
What's it called?
My Mouth.
Yeah, let's hear it.
My mouth stays shut, but food just finds a way. My tongue says we are full today, but teeth just grin and say, come in.
Can you tell us what's special about Katherine Dunham?
She lived to be over 80 years old.
Yeah. And she was a dancer.
She loved to dance. She had her own club of dancing.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing. Shamil?
It said Jesse Owens was born on September the 12th, and that was when I was born. And he was, it was 1913, and here's when he won that race.
So his birthday is when Matthew.
Yeah, he and Matthew have the same birthday.
My granny was on the phone, and when she got off the phone, she said, "What was you read?" I said, "Ruby the copycat." She said she looked like she copycats, and here's the page when she was new.
Let me see. I didn't know what to do.
Can I read that during book box today?
And here's where she copied off with her. Right here, she copied off with her painting. She copied off with her all through the book.
No, she's copied off her, so she got the same sweater, so that's what she's done.
And when my granny see them hopping on the last page, she said, they look like they some hopping bunnies.
They do, don't
Let me
they?
see.
And they teacher put on some music, and she was the good. Ruby was the goodest hopper, and so her teacher, Miss Hart, let her lead it. And yesterday my brother got out.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing that. You look happier today than you did yesterday. Okay, Jazz, read it to me.
Mr. Avenue was a quiet, private old man. He was an expert,
Ancient.
ancient religion and
That's myths.
myth from around the world. He was so wrapped up in his studies, his neighbors were surprised that he had even heard of this orphan cousin. They were even more surprised.
And in the spring of 1954, Roberto signed a contract with the Dodgers. He left sunny Puerto Rico for Montreal,
Montreal.
Canada. The Dodgers had a farm team there.
Good heavens, said Grandma Thorne, you have them too. Let me take your temperature. When no one was looking, DW held the thermometer under hot water.
Did you see how I did that? Mom. And then by then you knew it, okay? Because you're thinking about taking a temperature. If somebody's not reading with you, that's what you can do. You know how we sound out the words? You can do that yourself. Just use your finger and look at the parts. Okay, under the...
Hot water. Oh dear, said Grandma Thorne. When she read the thermometer,
The three of them started invisible ink to solve mysteries. The right wrongs, others.
They.
Oh yeah, they right wrongs, others don't see, and just for fun, the kids write their notes with invisible ink.
Okay, keep reading. You're doing a good job.
It's
Chapter 1. Okay. Keep going.
Where's that Max?
Tell me, Bart, can you use this?
The second. Here goes the invisible dog.
Oh, is that the invisible dog?
Yep.
You can barely see him. It looks like a cloud, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay, keep reading.
We're not gonna go invisible dog. Where's that Max? Here, Max, shouted Chip. Chip and his friends were going to take Chip's dog to the dog show.
Tried to use the white library. It was very hard work. It was also very sad work because nothing we did really helped make our lives better. Then comes that day on the bus when I would not give up my seat to a white person. I was tired of black people being pushed around. Some people think I kept my seat because I had a hard day, but that is not true. I was just tired of giving in. Was off of the bus. Stay off the bus, the chapter. When black people heard that I had been arrested, they were very angry. They thought it was time to fight for new laws.